All right. Hey, can everybody hear me? Just want to make sure that on the messages you guys are there. Hey, I want to say, can you guys hear me okay? Let me think. If you guys want to write in the message, it would be good to know. Yeah, you can. Awesome. So first, I want to say sorry for being late. It's supposed to be bear market times and so we just heads down, but too much stuff to do. Get called into certain AMAs and podcasts, and it took longer than I thought. But hey, thanks for coming out today. I know it's been a long time since we've done these. Um, World has changed a lot since then, since the last time we did it. But I wanted to make sure that when we present the latest or start doing these, we got some good content for you guys to go look at and absorb. So instead of doing community-wide AMAs and check-ins, because Gamma 4 and Bluezell is progressing really well, we want to start breaking up and do things, on a regular basis, like hopefully every 2 weeks, but we take a different topic area and go and talk about that in terms of Gamma 4 or Bluezell, and then just focus on that. So whether it's gameplay, Bluezell chain, tutorial, how to use, let's say, a Kepler wallet, all that stuff we can actually break out, have everybody come in, ask questions, and then go forward. So today, what we want to focus on was the art of Gamma 4. Talk about where a lot of the ideas came from, how we started doing art design, when it started, and all the things around it. That way, you get an understanding of how games get developed. You can ask some questions, and also we got some good videos and content that we can start sharing out to communities, showing that where lots of people are promising GameFi and games, we can show that we actually have a game well into development. We've been in pretty much stealth. Everything we're proving is showing that stuff's out there, and we've got, we're making some really good progress out there. So with that, I'm gonna start going through this. If you have questions throughout, just ask it on the live chat, and then I can sit in there and answer them if they're relevant to what we're presenting. See, you've got it, the Gamma 4 Art Bible. Awesome. Right there. So let's go through this. So at high level, as you can read, this is a guide, right? And what the Art Bible does is it gives art direction to all our people who come on and join Bluezell and Gamma 4 and start working on it, so they understand everything what to do and know all our work is consistent and cohesive. Other thing is we can give it to community members soon. So if you guys are working things and working on the project or want to do some fun fan art things, you can take it and say, hey, you want to stick with our art Bible or go something different? That's cool. Then we would just have different categories. And it allows you to actually submit ideas. And maybe later on, when we allow user generated content in the game, the art Bible is going to help you design stuff that can be placed into the game. So first, we're going to start with analysis of Gamma 4. So for those that don't know, it's a sci-fi, it's a sci-fi epic that we're doing here. There's wars going around. We have 5 species that we've talked to, and the guidance of the High Soother, which is a wise and calm dignitary. Conflicted parties are slowly guided the conflicted parties towards peace. When everything was halted, the High Soother, who kept everything in command, was assassinated right before revealing his grand announcement. So, hey, it's not too far from crypto. We do, just like the High Soother, we do announcements of an announcement in Gamma 4. So the goal is who'd kill the most loved person in the sector? Conflicts, destruction, wars start happening again. Everything seems bleak. And everybody's led to their own motivations, goals to find out what was this grand announcement. So now let's go into the characters. As you know, characters are the biggest part of the game. This is what people have been drawn to from the beginning. They like the art style. Your whole goal of these games is you're grabbing these characters, forming your teams, and then you're going to, do battle in a turn-based RPG with other ones. The focus is that the character should pop up on the screen and your eyes go right attention to them. And they each should look unique, have their own poses, weapons, body parts, and we've also crafted backstories for each character. Our marketing team has been putting them out for the past couple of weeks. Just give teasers there's real depth here. They weren't just made up blank characters or NPCs. So the avatars are representing your in-game characters. They should always be in poses that give you a feeling. So in these cards that you see there, these are the ones that enter the characters, and it wasn't designed to just standing blank and going like this, right? The goal is you see them, you see a certain pose, and you start figuring out, hey, who is this person? What's there to them, right? And then each person usually people gravitate to certain character types, right? You can see in Ono, there's a bit of mystery to her because she's showing her back. With Ethan, he's looks like a soldier. He's ready for battle and he's out there. And then the robot's really cold, the Marauder, and he's just there, almost like an assassin, just seek and destroy. So you get these feelings from these cards, from these character avatars that we built for each of them. These are the different species. You can see my comment there to the team. They mislabeled it by saying races. It should say species, because the whole goal is in the Gamma 4 world, you have 5 different species. We said these from the beginning. You've got our humans that are most like us on this planet. Ataris, which are kind of like elf-like figures. They're kind of humans, but enhanced. Marauders are very robot-like. They're pretty much robots. The goblins are kind of a mix of them. And then you've got the mutants, right? Who are through genetic breeding and engineering, they become bigger, stronger, and all that. So we've got those 5 species. Quick question before I go to the next slide. Isaac is asking, will it be mobile and PC or just PC? For now, it's just going to be a browser-based game where you load it up on, your laptop or your desktop and start playing at it. We do want to develop a mobile version, so not just mobile browser, but we'd love to do a mobile app. That'll come around to, hey, what are we looking at in terms of what we can get by with the App Store? But it would be a fun mobile game because you're just hitting the buttons, clicking, choosing your warriors, your cards, and pressing going, just like a lot of mobile RPGs are out there. Race species, again, this should be species size ratio. Sorry. The point of this is for any art designer or artist coming into our world, they can sit there and go, hey, now I can see the size wise of what each one should be when they appear on screen. So you can see that the Cyber Goblin is the biggest. Cyber Goblin is the smallest. Then the next smallest is the human. Then it goes Atari, Marauder, and then Mutant is the biggest. So an art designer, every time they're coming in, an artist working on a character, and they're picking one of them, they should make sure that everything's relative to their size, and on screen it is like that and it's consistent. Question from Chris, how far have we come in the game development process? I will say in the past 3 months, we've come actually very, very far. As you can see, the story has been fleshed out way more. We're revealing more of that. This month, in November, we should have our first playable. The game should be we're aiming for a 1-hour campaign that you can come in, play it, have enough to do for 1 hour, give us all the feedback, then to keep going on to the next things. And also some alpha, we'll be having the trailer come out. The teaser trailer, the first trailer for Gamma 4 will be out very soon as well. Skin color variation. So this also breaks down to human, Atari, Marauder, Cyber Goblin, Mutant. we have, different colorways for each group. So that way it makes it easier. So, the artists who come in, they don't muck around and put, let's say, in the Cyborg Goblin, a purple color. They're like, that doesn't exist. These are the 5 colors and whatnot. So that makes it much easier for everybody to use and have and build the characters with. Good question with Mago Synergy. He's asking, or she, what's your greatest challenge with game development? One, always to make it fun. But aside from that, we have a skilled team working on that. I think right now the greatest challenge is the games team getting up to speed to understand the blockchain side and what we can or can't do with NFTs and blockchain and our storage layer. So that's probably the biggest challenge. But good thing is our CTO for Bluezel's Neeraj also came from gaming, so he understands both sides. And I think we're doing it the best we can, and it's looking good so far. Next, style and construction guide. So this gives just some more depth to the game or the cards. So as you can see, we're not 3D, but we're stylized 2D art. So it's not just totally flat. You can see there's depth in there, 2 characters, and they pop on the screen. From the beginning, we decided that we didn't want realism. We wanted it to be cartoonish, and we wanted real details and make it like comic books style of cartoonish comic books. So, when you would watch certain cartoons or comic books, you could see the hero and want to be that person, and that's the style we were looking for. We wanted to be broad appeal, that the artwork could be anywhere around the world, easily distinguishable and pleasing to the eye. So we didn't want it to focus on the art style just on one region. Crypto is global, blockchain is global, we want Web3 games to be global, we're all connected. So we wanted to make sure, one, that's why we chose the name Gamma 4, because you can easily pronounce it. And then you can also, the characters needed to be that everybody around the world could run with it. Let me see, next question. Is there going to be a mobile version? Already answered that. If we do, we'll look at both. And when are we expecting NFT launch for Gamma 4? I'll be able to better answer that probably at the end of the month. First thing we want to do is get the first playable out there running on the Bluezel chain, which is Stargate based. And with that, we would like it to, once we have that all figured out and working well in a test environment, then we can know how we're going to mint it and how we want to launch the NFTs. Let's see, Brian is asking, what's the budget for this game development? We're actually right on budget. We didn't spend too much from the start. We've been slowly adding team members on the game team. Like it started with, let's say, 3 people. As they fleshed out more and more, we've added more people. I think we're up to maybe like 9 or 10. The game team is doing really well. They're very skilled at these types of games. So we managed it in a proper place. And the funds that we're using for right now is our own Bluezel treasury. So as soon as we got all our Stargate up to upgraded, some of the team members moved to Gamma 4, and we've been able to manage it well. Marvelous is asking what makes Gamma 4 different. Well, one, it's a Cosmos-based game. There's not much Cosmos applications out there. We'll be one of them. Second, we know how to build games, and it'll be fun. These are games. It's like asking what movie is different from another. Movies are movies. I'll watch Fast and Furious. I'll also go and watch, the latest Avatar or Marvel movie. They don't compete with each other. It just wants to be fun. All right, so characters. Artists must follow certain guidelines so they keep the look. So as you can see, we have different variations out there, and any artist who comes in, they shouldn't venture off from these 4 things. They should have, it's easily for them to look out there and see, okay, we got to stick within this kind of look. Hey, thanks, Brian. We're just trying to manage best that we can. We didn't want to go overboard at the beginning. That's how we've been doing this in a steady way. And plus it's bear market, so there's no need to rush it anyways. Cuspu, when the game launching, we're aiming in November to have the first 1 hour playable. Utilities, what are the utilities for Gamma 4 NFTs by Chris? At the start, eventually it could be the card decks. So you buy those and you use them in the game. More, it's going to be buying characters and breeding them with each other to launch characters with more powers. Let's talk about the cards overview. So once again, this is all art style around the game. So the cards is, it's smaller than the other main assets in the game, which is the characters. They also are cartoonish shapes and forms, keeping very simple colors and keeping the gradients there for visual effects, so that when you see a card and we want to put a visual effect to the game and have some animation, it'll be able to do it. Graphical visuals focused on glowing them, and we're trying to stay away from micro details and keep them kind of nice, bright and bold, so they stick out. So those are the cards overview. Let's go to the next question. Ashley is asking, will the Gamma 4 community members get any voting powers? That's up for discussion still. There will probably be some voting powers, not too much when it comes to game design, because you want to leave the game design to the experts. So some of the cards you get in Gamma 4 will have a body part, and these are the rules for them, right? It should be simple. You should be able to present the body part of the species directly. So like, hey, it's a fist, you know it's a fist. Have bold colors that highlight the powers around them, and just make them strong and appealing. So when they show up in your game and you see that card, you know exactly what it can do. Kuspu's asking, why cartoonish theme for the characters and cards? You had to pick a style and direction. We didn't want to go for realism. We didn't want to go for anime. We want to have a little fun with it, separate it, and make it like, games like Team Fortress, Fortnite style, where it's a bit more cartoonish and has that global appeal. Maggio synergy, just like everybody always wants. How do you create more marketing and hype? Well, of course, Gamma 4 doesn't have enough publicity. Not many people, we haven't talked about it much, right? It's been semi-stealth. We wanted to not put a game out that people say, hey, it's coming, it's going to do some stuff. Why not wait till we have a game trailer that's looking good and a playable to support it? So that way, when we start doing publicity, people come to it, say, hey, these guys are actually going to deliver. The game is going out there, and let's start checking out Bluezell community, Bluezell Telegram, and start buying up Bluezell tokens because I want to use them for the game. Cards focus on FX. These are very similar to the other ones, right? Bold colors, keep it simple, silhouettes, and people should make out what's happening. Let's talk about the backgrounds. We're highlighting the characters, as I keep saying. We want them to pop out. So we're trying to keep the backgrounds very simple and clean with no hard black lines. We want to represent the level of the game and the story behind the environment, and take away kind of like really micro details. We're not building Call of Duty here where you can find every little speck. The goal is to have a nice, simple, clean background, and so the characters are right there and you can see them bold and center. You can see on the left one there that, okay, this is a lava land, I get it. There's fire, probably got a lot of like eruptions. I can focus on the character. The one on the right, it looks like they're in a battle station somewhere. A lot of cement, steel. I've seen that type of world before in Star Wars and other sci-fi kind of action movies. I get it. Now I can focus on the characters. No graphical issues, as Bicky Talks is asking. Brian is asking, has a Gamma 4 token non-leak's been finalized? No, it has not. We've done that by purpose. We wanted to have the game well into development and understand more about the game before we start fleshing out how the tokens should be perfectly used. And plus, we had to figure out how we want to tie it into Bluezell and the validators and everything. So that's next on our list to go get into once this first playable is done. Kuspu is asking how many levels would be in the game. I can't promise that right now. Games like Clash of Clans, Epic 7, you keep adding levels all the time. All I know is that the first game, first playable, we want it to last about an hour. Let's see, more background work in progress, just more about the outlines and guidelines that are out there. Background visual effects. Background visual effects, that means, I'd say, the lava land, let's say it's glowing a bit, or you see steam. It's there to support the story and the background, but not take away attention from the game. So that's why there. So the rules are keep it there, subtle, you get a little bit of feeling, but don't go overboard. Let's see. Animation. Yeah, we want animations in the characters for sure. It's got to match their backstory, personality, the way they move, whether it's slow, fast, jump high, jump low. It should actually represent what that character is, give you that feeling that, okay, that's how that character should move. So it should all feel natural. Will the first Majo Synergy is asking, will the first playable be P2P or P2E? Well, so those who know what P2P is, that means player versus player. P2E is, I'm saying he's PVE, he means, because not P2E is not play to earn. There's no earning in this one. It'll be player versus environment. First playable will be player versus environment. Multiplayer will come after. Brian, good question. He's asking, will this be success as a single player or multiplayer game? It's an action adventure RPG. We'll have elements of multiplayer, but I think it's designed to be a single player focus as you go through. Juana Innocent is asking, what development process are we in? I think I've answered that. We're just about ready to release the first 1 hour playable. The UI, we're highlighting the characters again, so the UI has to be simple and clean. I've said this over and over again. You see that the colors are there to support the characters, but be subtle. They're not to take away. The main focus is the characters because they have the visual effects. They're playing the cards, and you got to see all their strengths, energy, and how they move. UI, visual effects. Next to the character visual effects, the cards visual effects are the next highest priority, because we wanted that when you play a card, if it's a lightning card or a power card, something comes up and gives you a feeling that I just played that awesome and my character did something. So that's the process around there. This is a UI possible game change. This is just stuff that we're experimenting, that if we do go in a different direction where you see the top part, the cards might look different at the top, or the layout at the top. So here's the fun stuff people often ask is, hey, when you're designing characters, where do they come from? Where do you get these ideas? And often what you do in game development is you get a mood board like this, throw things on there, and you start getting inspiration for what we want it to look like. So here you can see something from Hellboy, some other comics that our artists had looked at, a couple games from Capcom, a game I used to play a long time ago called Dragon Quest. All those come into play of saying, okay, look at those for inspiration, and we draw out ours. Background reference, same thing. Just like your character reference, your background reference. So artists will come in there, they'll start throwing stuff on a mood board, and everybody starts going through them. And here are a bunch of the ones that ours had come up with from games they played, comic books they've read, cartoons they've watched. That gave them inspiration to build out our backgrounds. Isaac Umal is asking, went through the white paper, read about the DNA breeding of the characters. I don't seem to understand that. Can you throw in some more light? DNA breeding is our form of genetic breeding or breeding characters. So more is being fleshed out, but at a high level, what it is going to be is, like, let's say you've got a certain character, let's say an Atari, you take it to the genetic breeding room, You'll be able to do things, mix it with another character. So you're picking two, Atari with a human. Through genetics, you combine them, and you get a whole different character that combines traits of the both and has its own powers. And that is everything. So that is the art Bible and the art stories of Gamma 4. Hope you guys are able to learn something today. The whole process of developing art. We will be doing more of these type of webinars or in-depth things into the game, so make you guys part of it, understand it, start telling your friends, so they can generate more interest into Blue Zell and the Gamma 4 release. Questions you guys have been asking have been really good. I really appreciate those, because we can use this time not just for general Blue Zell update, but we can focus on certain sectors and go deep into it. Let me answer a couple more questions here, and then we can close it off for the night. Brian's asking, saying, Gods Unchained and Axie Infinity is a card game that's most active. Is this the main competition? Of course, any game that's out there, those two are competition. I think we have our own stand-up game that improves on those both games. They've been around for a couple of years, not the most fun to play from what I've heard from others. So I think we'll just learn from them and build a stronger game. SA is asking what type of airdrops can we look forward to. Can't promise any airdrops right now. We're figuring out the tokenomics for Gamma 4 as it relates to Blue Zell, and seeing how Blue Zell holders can benefit well from it. Myro Crypto is asking if I've got any Gamma 4 characters tattooed on my body. Not yet. I'm going to wait till more of the game is developed and I see some of the characters in their final form, especially when they come to NFTs. And then at that point, who knows, maybe I'll get a mutant on me. Akash is asking what powers do the guards give to the players. Hey, you can card holders. Once the game comes out, we've been tweeting certain aspects of the card games. You can see fist strikes, lightning, power grips, like, almost chokeholds. Those are all on there. You'll just have to wait and see. Brian's asking if people staking right now will be rewarded in a way. I can't say yes or no behind that right now, because we haven't actually thought it through or fleshed it out. It's just on the table of how are we gonna, what are all the different ways to use it. Thanks, Chris. He said he really liked the inspiration of Gamma 4 characters. And a lot of positive energy here. Thanks everybody for saying that we've been doing good work, and they're looking forward to the first playable. If no other questions, I think we can wrap it up. It's getting late for me. I gotta hit the sack and get some rest. And hopefully you guys learn something from this. Ask more questions on Telegram. We're putting out more stuff on Twitter. And the next big thing that we're putting out there is getting the game the first playable. Oh, one couple last questions is Brian's asking, can I see any collaboration with other projects like Mixmob running on BLZ on Blue Zell? Yeah, as I said, Mixmob is a separate project that I'm an executive producer on. I don't run it day to day. That's a whole different team doing everything else, built out with their own funding. How they would work on Blue Zell would be, one is once our storage layer is fully running on Stargate, as we plan to soon, they could look at that for storage. And then as Mixmob goes, hey, if they want to find out if they're going cross-chain, Blue Zell could be a chain that for them to enter the Cosmos ecosystem. So so it's all planned there for the future. I mean, we're supposed to be interoperable, and hopefully we'll get there. Good question. Other than that, I'm going to say sign off now. Thanks everybody for all the questions. This is great. And I'll see you guys online on Telegram and everywhere else. And then we'll have another one in the next couple weeks. Bye.